Hi friends, this is Katie Carney and this is my YouTube page about mostly cross-stitching and sometimes about knitting and quilting, both of which I'm going to talk about today. It is Saturday, August 1st. How is it August already? 2020, and this is my Flosstube number 28. It is a very hot summer in Scranton, so you can hear my air conditioner in the back. But I've got my handy dandy microphone now, and I definitely thought that it helped last week, so I'm gonna hope that it helps again today. It was a well spent $20, just like my well spent 30 on a ring light, both for you guys, but also we are doing a digital conference for work, so my plan is that I will use both the ring light and the microphone to help with the digital conference. I have to figure out if I can write those purchases off. I don't know. My electric bill has certainly gone up since I've been working from home, and I don't know if, I don't know. And, you don't want to ask for a reimbursement for part of your electric bill, but it went up like $20 a month. It's a lot of money. Anyway, I'm still working from home. I was supposed to go back to work last Friday, but I did not. And I don't know when I will go back. Every time I think it's time to go back, something happens, and, Pennsylvania is back up to nearly 1,000 cases a day again, so who knows? Things are pretty much the same here. My life is pretty boring still. Tomorrow, I'm going to a baseball game. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. My boyfriend and I usually have season tickets for the local farm team for the Yankees, the Rail Riders. So it's their AAA team. Obviously, they're not playing this year. So there's I think it's called Can-Am or something like that. I don't know what kind of league it is, but they're in Jersey, and it's about an hour away. So I am going to a game tomorrow. The tickets are general admission. I'm assuming they're going to seat you so that you're distanced. But at that level, these players are never going to the major leagues or anything. There's usually only 20 people. So I'm not that worried. I'm just excited to see baseball in person. And I have been watching a lot of Major League Baseball now that it's back. Our cable package, luckily, I can get most of the games. So that makes me happy because I love stitching is really good to watch baseball too, because baseball is a sport that you're really listening, and then every once in a while you look up to see the ball go. So there is a hurricane headed for our dear Rocio right now, so I don't know if she's gonna have internet or power to watch this anytime soon, but I am thinking of you, darling, and I hope that you're safe. But I think that's all the updates I have this time. Oh, my cousin just had a gender reveal from Central Park. They had a party in Central Park, and then they Zoomed people in, and they're having a little boy, so congratulations to them. And I think that's it. My life is not that interesting, which is okay. Dull and boring. All right. I have two FFOs, neither of which are cross-stitch. The first is a baby blanket that I actually started last summer. It's just an easy chevron pattern. And it's a Bernat baby. It's one hank of yarn, and all the colors just happen automatically, which is good because I hate sewing in edges. So about a week ago, a friend of mine said, hey, my grandchildren or something always get a hand knit baby blanket, but the person who used to make them has passed away and there's a new baby coming. Can you make a blanket? So I had that about a third of the way done, and I finished it today. It's a really easy pattern. It's just 2 rows, and they're very easy to memorize, and I do it on work breaks, and then I think I spent about an hour one evening. I knit very quickly. I don't do it much anymore, but very, very quickly. Now, my other FFO is a quilt. It is the quilt. It is the Pandemic Quilt. I started this right at the beginning of quarantine. Initially, I had purchased the fabric for me, but my best friend Bernadette is having her second child, a little girl. I love making things for girls. And I decided that I shouldn't selfishly keep the quilt for me. I should give it to her. And I decided to do a twin-sized quilt, so I still sleep in a twin-size bed because a bigger bed won't fit into the room I sleep in. And then growing up, I never had anything bigger than a twin, but her 2-year-old has a double. So I made this twin quilt that I don't know if she's actually going to use, but it's fine. Everything's fine. I started it months and months ago. It spent a lot of time, like I finished the top and then it sat for like 6 weeks because I was too nervous to do the next part. It is not perfect. I am incredibly proud of it. I love it. I'm really happy to give it away, but I'm also really sad. But my friend had hoped to make it to August 1st. Her section is scheduled on the 14th, I think. So today she made it, and my goal was to have the quilt done by today, and I finished it Thursday. So I thought the quilting itself would be very quick, and in many ways it was, but it's a twin-size quilt in a very small room with a wonderful machine. It's a workhorse machine, but I really had to like help it, and I actually hurt my neck. So here's it folded, and then I'm gonna stand up and unfold it. You're not gonna be able to see it all, but you'll see some of it. So, and then the lining fabric, which is it's blowing out really badly. It's like a white with gold. It's very princess frilly. So what I did was, my house has a lot of rooms, but they're not big. So I had to lay out a sheet on the floor and then hang on. I had to lay out a sheet on the floor and then lay the top down on top of that, and then lay the batting down, and then the bottom, so this part here. That's actually what it looks like. I got this from Missouri Quilt Company. It's backing fabric. It's the 108 inches wide, and then I used the same. I made the binding. I watched Melissa Ham. Hang on. I watched Melissa Ham's YouTube videos, and she makes this all seem so easy, and it really wasn't hard. I definitely need practice. I initially thought that I would not quilt at home again. I think if I can find a way to lay it out somewhere else where there's more room, then I could probably quilt here again, and use my machine. But so I finished quilting on like Tuesday, and I made the binding Wednesday, and then I pinned the binding Wednesday, and then I sewed the binding on Thursday. So you machine sew the binding onto the nice side, so this is machined on, and then you hand stitch it down on the other side. And the hand sewing didn't take too terribly long. I don't mind hand sewing. It does make my hands cramp up though. But it took about an hour aside, maybe a little more. So about 4 hours of hand sewing it down, and then it was done. And the mother is thrilled. She can't wait to get it. So I have this, and I had 2 hats and a sweater that the baby doesn't need in August to take over. And then me and 2 of my best girlfriends got her some restaurant gift cards. That's usually my go-to gift for a shower. You know, even when a mother registers for stuff, I usually will do a gift card to a local restaurant because people are going to buy you the things that you need, or maybe you won't really need them, but you will need a night that you don't have to cook. So we got her our favorite Mexican restaurant, a steak place that she likes, and Dunkin' Donuts because she loves Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So I think I'm taking that all over to her tomorrow before the baseball game, and I'll drop it off on her porch because obviously I haven't seen her. So this is for she's not my niece because it's my best friend, but she'll call me Chachi Katie, and I hope that she loves it. I hope it brings her joy. I'm really, I'm stupid, guys. I'm stupid proud of this. Like, this is a big thing for me. And it was kind of emotional, which I feel like I'm too emotional of a person since I cried on here 2 weeks ago. But my grandma Becker, my mom's mom, she made all the grandchildren quilts, and as I was making this, it just felt so like I was close to her and like I was doing something that she really loved, and it meant a lot to me. But now I want a long-armed quilting machine and a room to quilt, so, you know, great, another hobby, just what I don't need. So those are my 2 FFOs. I know that they weren't cross-stitch, I'm sorry. I got myself a new cup at Target that I didn't need. But I wanted a cup with a straw, and my Yeti that I like to use for, that I use at work is still at work. I have this big 40-ounce Yeti that Mark got me for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's at the office. It's my coffee pot. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This world we're living in, it's complicated. Anyway, last week was 24 hours of cross stitch, and I did not keep track of my hours this time, but for the first time ever, I probably got 26 hours in. I've never made it. But I was adding it up, and I was like, oh, I definitely hit 24. I took some time off Friday to take my grandmother to her best friend's house for her birthday, and we sat on the back porch and had takeout and peach pie, and it was really sweet. My grandmother hasn't seen her best friend since February. They talk so they call each other at 8:30 in the morning every day to make sure that the other one is alive. Her best friend lives alone. I'm here, so it's less of a concern for her, but that's their thing, and I love it, and they're besties. And so I took her down there, and then I took the rest of the afternoon off to stitch. So I worked on it's Jolly July, and the 25th of July was last week. So I did ornaments for the great ornaments that I make, 20. I'm going to explain a little bit in haul about the really kind gift I got, but all of the magazines I used were gifted to me. And then I made a list in my bullet journal that I use for cross stitch, and it's a listing of my 2020 Christmas ornaments so that I know what books I used and what I made. And I just put like purple Noel or pink ornament. But now I know that I have 10 done. So I opened by putting in a Christmas movie, and I made, this took about an hour. It was really fast. It's just a cute little candy cane. I try to keep the ornaments that I make for my grandmother between 2 and 3 colors, because if not, it's too much. Color changing, they take too long. These ornaments, I'm looking to get them done. So I did that one Friday, and then I decided that I should use some of my fancy floss that I had just gotten in the mail in my thread thread of the month that I do through Threads Entwined, which I didn't pay for this month, so might not be getting. But it just so happened that this month, I'll show you again in haul, but this month was red. So I pulled out Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red. And it was just, it's the most perfect red. So the next one I did was these mittens, and this is on, I don't remember what the fabric is, but I used this for Take Me Out to the Ball Game last year for my friend Susie. And these next ones that I'm showing you, they're all from the 2017 issue of Just Cross Stitch, which had some great ornaments in it. So here's this one. And then Saturday morning, I started, whoops. This one, it says ho ho ho. Wow, there we go. We'll just hold it like that. So ho ho ho. And the green I used was apparently I put it away. I think it was like, oh no, here it is. Pine. It's a Gentle Arts. Pine. It's a little more green than it's showing up. I just decided I have a fairly big fancy floss stash, so I just put the two boxes next to me, and I really liked the pine with the red ribbon, so I just went after that. And then once Ho 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 was done, I did this one. So there's a typo in that. It says Merry Christ Us. But it took me forever and ever and ever and ever to cursive out those letters. So guess what they're saying? Perfection is best left to the saints. And then I did Noel. And I did this one. I started it Saturday and I finished it Sunday. And then to get for the last one, this is from November 2019 Cross Stitcher, and there's a whole bunch of these. It's Ho. And this is also a mystery fabric that has a no longer being made whip on it, so I'll probably keep using this until I run out of space. So those are my finished objects from the last 2 weeks. And now I don't want to call this a rant, but we need to have a little conversation about the Gentle Arts. So this was in my stash. Hang on, let me find something white. This is in my stash. This is by the Gentle Arts. It's Claret. It's like a purpley red, which is the color it should be. And I said to myself when I was pulling it off of here that, oh, I already have one of those. I should use the old one first. Well, here's the same color. I don't know if it's going to show up on here. One's red, one's purple. And the same thing happened with the pine. I have two of that also, and they're two different colors. I understand that Gentle Arts is having some issues with dyeing right now, and they're dyeing very quickly. But like, these are not even close to the same color at all. I'm paying what are they? This was $230 and it's older, and I think they're like $250 or $265 now. I'm paying $265, which is 5 skeins of DMC. And I mean, I understand about dye lots. I'm a knitter. I really understand about dye lots. But like this, one is purple, one is red. This is, I mean, you can really see it right there. They're not even close. They don't even match. Like, you couldn't use them in the same project. So, I'm a little frustrated. I am in the Threads and Twine Thread Club, and you get 3 weeks, 3 classic, and 3 gentle arts. I need to pay for that. So I'm going to continue getting 3 gentle arts a month, but I am definitely not going to seek out their product. Because I do have, I bought a lot of them, like a lot, L-O-T, from 1884 Stitchery, and I have doubles of several, and they are really different, like super different, and I am a little annoyed because, I mean, again, I understand about dye lots, but these are like different colors. Oh well. Now I have to go through and add them to the great Rocios. When I finished up my DMC, if I've said this before, I apologize, but when I finished up my DMC collection, I'm still short like 20, but she has a spreadsheet that she uses, and she has DMC, and then on different pages she has all the fancy flosses. So the DMC, to bag them, get them in order, put them in their new filing system, and then put them on the spreadsheet, it took me an entire Sunday. Like, I didn't stitch a stitch. So I just haven't had the bandwidth to do that again for the fancy floss. So maybe that'll be a tomorrow job after the baseball game. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to put everything away. As you guys know, I have this is my ornament bag from Rika, who is on her way to Germany at this point, or should be on her way to Germany. Also, I'd started another ornament and ended up, I was so frustrated with the fabric and the way the white was laying on it that it's gone. So this is a Weeks Aztec Red 32 count. And it was not working for me. So I don't know if I'll ever try this fabric again, or if it's just going to be a, I don't know. I paid for it, so I should use it, but it was not going well for me. So it'll just get shoved in the ornament bag. It's a future problem. Okay, on to whips. I have been actually stitching on my whips. So, Pavane in another Rika bag. As you guys know, I started Long Dog Samplers, a Pavane for your time, for these times. And it says, turn your face to the sun and the shadows fall behind you. I am using Confederate Gray for this project, and it is a 28 count. And as you know, I have like a 1/2 inch margin on one side. It's going to be a fascinating thing to lace. I am making this for my friend Renee and her husband Pete, meaning they got married a couple weeks ago. They eloped. It's not my fault. Didn't know it was happening, but now I need a gift. I got a lot done. So here it is now. God, it's pretty. It's really going to be hard for me to give this away. I'm using DMC 336 for this. So since you've seen it last, I did this. I put all the words on. I finished the big guy in the middle, and then I put this in. And then whenever I have like a little bit extra floss, I work on the edges. So there's 9 pages. I have finished 5 and probably about a third of the 6th. So we are really, really getting there. I have been working on this Monday through Friday, although 1 or 2 days last week I didn't work on it because of the quilt. That was more pressing. I was like, the baby is coming. The baby's not here yet, but the baby is coming. So, but I thought the letters came out pretty cute. And I mean, it's just amazing, like all the little butterflies that are throughout. It's so cute. So, this is my Monday through Friday piece. It's a great Monday through Friday piece because I don't have to color change. So, I would like to say that I'll have it done by the end of August. That might not happen, but the last couple pages are a little shorter than the other ones, and so I'm going to flash the pattern. So all the letters are done. That's on the bottom row. So I've got like this much left. I'll get there. Maybe by the end of the month. It doesn't seem like too lofty a goal, and then I stitch for an entire night and I only get like this done. And I'm like, well, definitely not getting a page finished this week. But it's okay. I've been using the no-slip hoops for all of my projects lately, except for the ornaments, which I do in hand. And I gotta say, really like them. Should put the floss back. Now, for what has been my weekend piece, except for last weekend when I did ornaments. You know her. You love her. I paid a fortune for her. Mirabilia, Lady of the Flag. Whoop whoop. And she is in my, I quilted this bag myself. I don't have much more done on her. I worked on her for about a half hour last night and probably a couple hours after you saw her last. But there she is. It's amazing because this is hours of stitching and there's a lot of stitches there, but your girl is not small. So I will work on her when I'm done here. And then I will work on her tomorrow in the little bit of time I have for stitching, and then she will go away. And when I'm done Pavane, she will come out and be my weekday, Monday through Friday stitch, and I'll have something else for on the weekends. That seems to be working for me because I'm not getting bored, but I am getting, the Monday through Friday piece gets like real progress. I am thinking both Janet Jabber and Michelle McGraw, who you guys should watch because they're amazing, they do like 30 minutes a day on a project, and I'm thinking about doing something like that with like a full coverage piece. I have it's a poster, like a vintage poster of Hogwarts, and then I also have a like more modern that'll be displayed in a hoop version of Hogwarts, and I might start one of those for 30 minutes a day, but we'll see. I should also knit for 30 minutes a day, but then all of a sudden that project that you're focusing on isn't getting the stitch. This is what's known as a first world problem. I don't like having a ton of whips, especially because I give away so much of what I make, so there's often a timeline. So I am planning, though, another weekend for ornaments this month, and then one more in September, because if I can do 5 a weekend, For 2 more weekends, I'll have them all done. And I want them done by October 1st so that I can fully finish them in October and then give them to my grandmother. I don't know what Christmas is going to look like this year because of the pandemic. So I don't know how many of these ornaments are going to have to be mailed and how many people are going to get them in person. I can't focus too hard on not hosting Christmas Eve taco party. So I'm just living in denial. I'll be honest. I think if I have to cancel that, it's going to be the thing that pushes me over the edge. And I'm not going to be okay. So let's just not think about it. Okay, so as I said, that's my plan. Mirabilia on the weekend, Pavane during the week, and at some point a weekend for ornaments. Probably not before I see you again. My other plans are, as I said last time, that quilt is this beauty is done. Actually, once it was quilted, I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love that feeling of a quilt. And even though like it's not perfectly straight, I love it. And it feels like a quilt. You know what I mean? It's got that wonderful homemade quilty feeling to it. And it's like a hug. It's like a hug. A homemade quilt, I've only ever been given one, and it has fallen apart to the point that I had to take it off my bed. It was 30 years old. But it's like a hug. A homemade quilt is a hug. That's what it is. So now it's time to make the Lincoln Museum quilt. This I am copying Stitching with the Sisterlies. She that's her Instagram tag. She made this and it is beautiful and it looks pretty easy. The actual quilt will look similar to this. So again, it'll be a good quilt for practicing. And then, so I'm going to start that. And I had planned to keep it for myself, but my bedroom is pink and gray and a tiny bit of blue, and it is not Civil War colors. So, and the quilt is for a double bed, so I don't know. We'll see. I showed you guys the fabric last time, but Allison did another fabric sale, and I picked up PP10, which was more Civil War reproduction fabric. So now it's all in this fat quarter shop bag. It just barely fits. I think I have to pull out the bigger one. But my plan tomorrow is to start ironing because I know that's the most important thing. So I want to get it ironed, and then the next weekend I can start cutting. Speaking of Allison, so one of the issues I have with cutting fabric is, one, I'm lefty for one thing, but also it makes my wrist hurt. I've broken both my wrists. So this is a righty, when holding it, would hold it like this. So instead of going like this, it's more ergonomically correct. So I don't know how much they are in real life. She was selling it for $15. It's a True Cut, and it's by the Grace Company. So I will report back, but I was very excited to get this from her. Oh, and then when I got my red Threads Entwined order, I like that every month is a color, so that was red. And then the month before was pink, but she was, obviously the Gentle Arts were not dying, and then she was short one of the weeks. So they came, I told her, she was like, as soon as they come in, I'll ship them. And I was like, well, you could just wait. I don't care. It's fine. I got plenty of projects. So those are the 4 pinks that came that also need added to the stash. And then I do the Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. I do a 32 count Lugana, and this is 17 by 26, and the color is Requiem. I love a Requiem. I miss going to the orchestra. But anyway, it's a great color. It's like a, kind of like a gray, like a parchment-y gray. I love it. So it's definitely a nice neutral that will be able to be used for really anything. Excuse me. These are my boyfriend's birthday socks. He's a Phillies fan. His birthday's in 2 weeks. And then, when Frogwarts, the box I got a couple weeks ago, which, by the way, check out the Black Needle Society's Instagram. They posted a schedule of when their boxes are going to be opening up. But one of the people for their shop was Judy Starkey, who has a Facebook page, and she does, these are kind of like the flat Bitsy Bobs, the ones that don't close, but it is, this is felt for putting your thread in, and then it closes like this, but it's a Harry Potter, and then I love that it's the Marauders map, and that she really centered it like that, and it was only like $10, so I think that's my last bit of haul. It is. So that's my last bit of haul. Not too much this time, for once. It's not, so that's my last bit of haul, but that's not the stitchy kindness that happened to me in the last couple weeks. So I met Jennifer Gorski. Jennifer G, Jen G, let's call her that. I forgot. I shouldn't have said her last name. I'm sorry, Jen. I met her because she got the Frogwarts box, and we started chit-chatting, and she watched my Flosstube, and she's like, you like old cross-stitch magazines? And I was like, girl, yes. The older the better. So she said, I have a bunch, I'm going to send them to you. She sent me 2 boxes of old books and magazines. So that's actually all the Christmas ornaments I worked on last week were from the magazines she sent me. She also sent me like Holiday and Cross Stitch 1989, 101 Christmas ornaments. So like a bunch of books like this. And then, you know, the magazines, they're just not quite the right size for a box. So she had to, like, you know, use some packing material, you know, like tissue paper, or like bags of floss. This is Wildflowers by Karen, which is 36 yards of hand-dyed cotton made in the U.S. And they're stunning. Hang on. I mean, look at those colors. So you would think that she sent me like one, right? You ready? It's overwhelming. It's an overwhelming amount of things, and I'm so excited. And one thing of Krynic that I used for a Christmas ornament. So I've already used one of the things in these bags. She said she had them in stash and didn't know what she was going to use them for and thought I might use them. Well, you're right. So I think actually I'm going to put them together in color family and what would match. And I'm going to do a long dog with maybe Pandemic, but I would use the color 154 I think I've picked, but then have variegated for different little parts that match. Wouldn't that be fun? That sounds exciting. I love a plan. So thank you so much. You shouldn't have, but I'm always grateful for stash enhancement. So it was just, it was a nice little treat. I know I was kind of emotional on here last time, so it's nice to feel happier today and a little more at peace. So, yay! Okay, we're 40 minutes in. I think that's probably enough of having to listen to me talk. You know my plans. You've seen my haul. I hope that you guys are well. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're staying cool because it's summer and it's hot. So hot. I hope that you can see your loved ones, and if you can't, that you can see them soon. I hope that you are well and happy and have lots of time for stitching. I hope that my subscribers know how grateful I am. I hope you know that I love every single comment that is left. Like, I love getting a YouTube notification that I have a comment. It might take me a couple days to reply, but I truly appreciate and love them, so thank you. And if you have not subscribed and are interested, please do. I'm a little over 400 subscribers, which feels kind of crazy, and 500 friends on Instagram, so that's really exciting. I love this little community family that we've all built here, so thank you again. Much love to all of you, and I can't wait to check in 2 weeks. Talk to you soon. Bye.